All right, the cock crow is up, and really that shows the new day has come. And today is Thursday, and today happens to be the 19th day into the month of September. I want this opportunity to welcome you on board from wherever you're watching us from this early morning, and I want to say good morning, welcome aboard, and we are going to be doing this discussion with you up to 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, and that's where we shall be having the news bulletin Liberty, and thereafter, many other programs will be coming through. And do not forget that today will also be the final day for what we call the Northern Request Hour. That is with Olivia, UG, and DJ Jero. They will be here for the final edition of this week. As for us, we shall be having our final edition. That is tomorrow, also ready for this week in here. But all in all, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you on board and say welcome. And we are going to be doing this with you up to 9 o'clock. And in here, we are going to be joined by guests, and this will be telling us really of how the schools are going on. And remember, we did see schools reopening this week, but I want to inform you that the turnout was not really impressive, because if you look at the number of learners that turned out, that's on the first day, you will realize that it was really alarming. Many of the schools hardly pulled the numbers. The numbers were really very much few. It means parents were not prepared to have their learners return back to school for third term. But all in all, what we are saying is people must ensure that the learners are always prepared, because you had a whole month or maybe 3 weeks, because some schools rested for 1 month, others rested for 3 weeks. All in all, we are saying we hope that was enough to allow you prepare the learners also to return to school. If you look at the primary schools, the turnout was really said to be very much alarming. That is why we shall be having guests, and the impact of that is definitely something which we feel would also really mean a lot, because if you look at the turnout, definitely there's always an indication of it at the end of the day, because if the learners are not turning out in large numbers, it means at the end of the day the performances are as well going to be affected. But are we ready for such performances? Because if you look at our schools, in most cases, when the PLE, the USCE, the UCE results are being released, in most cases, we tend to look for our schools from bottom. Is this story going to be changing, given the fact that today we shall be seeing the release of the USCE and UCE results for the secondary schools, and this is for the bulk. Today, this will be taking place at St. George's College, Ombachi, but I don't know how learners from these schools are ready to also really change the results that will be coming out from also today's expectations, because I believe mocks are usually there to mock. As usually we used to say, that mocks are there to mock you. And indeed, mock is to test your ability. That is for the forthcoming UNEB examinations, because if you look at the UCE and the USCE today, you will realize that they actually left with about very few days, and that means we are going to be seeing also already that discussions will be coming later. But for now, let's start with the discussions of the Judicial Service Commission, which is already undertaking what we call free pro bono, or what we call judicial services. That is for the people of West Nile Sub-Region. It has been 4 days that the team has been here in Arua City, and today will be their last day. And I want to say, for those who have court cases, you may be in prison also already for maybe cases that you did not commit, but we're saying all in all, the Judicial Service Commission is actually here. And let's take advantage of it, because this is a body that is guided by the Constitution under Article 162 of the 1995 Constitution, where they gave the mandate to also really check the powers of judicial officers and also the court process. And they also have the duty to, first of all, sensitize the locals about the obligations when it comes to court, and also sensitize judicial officers. And that's also when it comes to issues of expediting court processes. And that means for those who have cases, it could be land-related, it could be criminal or civil in nature. The Judicial Service Commission is actually here to give you that kind of guidance on what to do. And I want to show you that there's a team of 6 lawyers who have been in Arua City for the last 4 days. And this will be climaxing today. And I was able to speak to one of them, who actually said the services here are actually free of charge, meaning you don't have to pay any costs. And this will be taking place for finally today, and they have been camping at Mayor's Gardens, but today now they will be moving to, that's the Uganda government prisons, that's in Arua, to also really camp there for the final day, where we hope justice also really will be served to whoever needs the services. Because if you look at justice today, sometimes people do not have the monies to hire these private lawyers. So at the end of the day, they find it quite difficult to access judicial services. So that is one thing also which I feel people of this sub-region should be able to take up that as an advantage, because the Judicial Service Commission is actually going to be doing that. And we are able to see them also rushing out to court to check out some of those cases that need to be addressed. Yes, many times today people do not actually understand that it is their duty to get bail. And that is one thing also which I got to also realize yesterday, that indeed after getting bail, if the court case is dissolved, you have the duty, you have the obligation to go back and ask for your bail money. But sometimes when we see people being released out of the prisons, out of the courts, really they feel the case is done. They forget about the bail money, which is their money. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is that that bail money you give to courts, if this case is dissolved, or else if it is also already maybe adjourned, where final pronouncement is made, you have the duty, you have the obligations to follow up on getting your bail money. It could be hundreds, it could be millions, because sometimes we hear people asking for non-cash bail or what we call cash bail of this amount. But in most cases, people do not go back to actually ask for this money back, because they do not understand that it is their duties to have bail. So that is one duty of the Judicial Service Commission. First of all, to sensitize the public about their duties and obligations, and one of the duties is actually to get bail and to have justice. It is actually the bond of the public to legal justice, and that is one thing we didn't see happening, and I hope people will be able to take advantage of this final day. And yes, as for Varua, as for West Nile sub-region, and northern Ugandans and Ugandans as large, not forgetting as Africans, usually we love last-minute things. So I hope on this day, people are going to be taking advantage of this day. But I want to assure you that of yesterday, many people had not taken advantage of that. It means they were not actually aware of what is happening. So people could be having issues. And one of the issues that actually dominated yesterday was the cases of land. Land cases are really overwhelming, and that is one thing also today our neighbors cannot also be able to see eye in eye. That is one reason also we are seeing today, because you have allegations of this one encroached on my land, this one took over my father's land, this was a land that was sold to me and decided to sell it to another person. These are the issues today where our neighbors can hardly look eye into eye. So it means there's really a lot that we need to work on, and we need to also make sure that we work on, because if you look at these issues really today, you realize that at least most of our neighborhoods have issues. If you check at 100%, you realize 95% have issues. So when it comes to land, really today you have allegations of where this one encroached on my land, this one did that, this one dumped garbage on my land. So let's avoid those issues. Let's take advantage of the Judicial Service Commission. For those who have not also gotten justice, please, the Judicial Service Commission is actually here for the final day. And that's why we're going to be leaving the discussion aside. I want to really also leave that story aside, because if you look at today, it is the fourth day we are also already seeing third term reopening. And I want to show you that by the beginning of this week, the turnout was not really, was not really overwhelming. You realize most of the schools had less than 20% of their learners, and mostly girls, because on the first day like this, girls really feel they need to go back to school and start there and then. And sometimes this is because they are tired of doing domestic work. So what we are saying is, as parents, as guardians, let's ensure that we send our learners in time. And I really want to assure you that by today also we are going to be seeing the release of the mock results. This is for UCE and USE. And remember, the mock examinations will be released today. So this is a preparation also, and this is also a test to check if you are indeed ready for the UNEB examinations. Because for secondary, I believe by the end of November, we shall be seeing, is it October? Yes, October, but we shall be seeing UCE commencing. But how ready are our schools for the forthcoming national UNEB examinations? Because this is the first time for UCE, and this is also where we're going to be seeing the first lot of the curriculum that is only going to be sitting for this examination. But how ready are we for these examinations, given the fact that this week schools reopened, but our learners not return in numbers? So what does that mean, and what message does that send to our schools in there is something also where we need to check on ourselves. And as parents, we need to check on whether we are ready for these examinations. And this goes to the candidates. How ready are you on an individual basis? Because by this time you should be now assessing and check on whether you are ready, and maybe the kind of grades you want to get at the end of the day. Because really, if you look at mock, mock is actually determinant to how you are going to be performing in UNEB. But that does not also determine you now because UNEB is there. We have seen scenarios where people excel in mocks, they feel relaxed, and they really did not also really pass to the expectation at UNEB. So it means with these mock results, be it in your favor or not, you must still work harder. There's something that you need to also really embark on. You need to give a lot of time to your books, revisions, consultations in these remaining days, because this is where you're going to be changing the results. And remember, the UC results are permanent. There's no way you're going to be skipping them again. If you get the results that you want, then that is permanent. Everywhere you go, that will be your results. So I think my humble message to each and every person out there, this could be a learner, it could be a parent, let's ensure that the learners go back to school and start working hard. Yes, this week might have gone, but from next week, let's ensure that we concentrate on everything, and that will also enable us perform to the expectations at the end of the day. And to the school teachers and schools as well, let's not stop the learners from returning back to school, because we are able to solve see scenarios where some schools were able to block the learners just because the parents and the guardians will not really meet the requirements, for instance, of school fees. So I think that is not quite well. Let's allow the learners come back, because this is a crucial term. It's a determinant term where it will be also determining whether you will go to the next level of your education or stop. Because for those in continuing classes, it is actually going to determine whether you are going to be moving to the next class. What about the candidates? Still, it will be determining whether you will be progressing to the next level of education. Because let's allow the learners also already concentrate in these remaining days of also the time of the year in there. Because if you look at the academic calendar, we are going to be seeing this also already as one of the shortest terms, more so for those in candidate classes. But we are going to be taking a short commercial break. This is the KOKOLIRIKO live show. And I want to assure you that today we shall be seeing the release of the mock results for the secondary schools in West Nile, and I hope our schools really will be performing, and that's where we are going to be taking a short commercial break. My name is Faresh Majid, and up next we are going to be joined by guests, and we want to already have a look at how the turnout of the learners for third term has been like, and we shall be comparing this to first term and second term and understand why this is so happening and what can be done to change that narrative of that the first week is always for cleaning. We take a short commercial break.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Vinicius Jr., Lamine Yamal, Antoine Griezmann. La Liga comes to Star Times.
A wild celebration!
The big stars, the tiki-taka football, Real Madrid and Barcelona live in your living room.
Real Madrid, a team of dreams!
Catch all 380 games live and in HD on Sports Premium, Channel 259 and Channel 246. Starting this August 15th. Subscribe to StarTimes Classic or Smart Bouquet at 36,000 Uganda shillings to enjoy the football experience affordably. StarTimes Football and Limited Passion.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Lamine Yamal, Antoine Griezmann. La Liga comes to Star Times.
A wild celebration!
The big stars, the tiki-taka football, Real Madrid and Barcelona live in your living room.
Real Madrid, a team of dreams!
Catch all 380 games live and in HD on Sports Premium Channel 259 and Channel 246 starting this August 15th. Subscribe to Star Times Classic or Smart Bouquet at 36,000 Uganda shillings to enjoy the football experience affordably. Star Times Football and Limited Passion.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Lamine Yamal, Antoine Griezmann. La Liga comes to Star Times.
A wild celebration!
The big stars, the tiki-taka football, Real Madrid and Barcelona live in your living room.
Real Madrid, a team of dreams!
Catch all 380 games live and in HD on Sports Premium Channel 259 and Channel 246 starting this August 15th. Subscribe to Star Times Classic or Smart Bouquet at 36,000 Uganda shillings to enjoy the football experience affordably. Star Times Football and Limited Passion.